the coolest.
A fishing hook.
Oh, Liam, that is so perfect, and we can go fishing in our own little creek now.
We can get our own bait.
Yeah.
I found so many worms already.
I was gonna say we were seeing a lot of worms while we were doing all this yard work and stuff. So
yeah, he put it on my foot, and it scared the crap.
I know. They were picking weeds, and then all of a sudden Jude starts screaming, and it's because Liam had put some worms on him.
Jude, don't hate me for this. And I put it on. I guess he didn't hear me.
Oh yeah. Unfortunate for you. You didn't have time to react.
You don't hear anything. You're just complaining in your head about how much you hate weeds.
Yeah.
It's so wild because I walked out the door this morning to get the kids to school, and there's just like branches all over the place, all over the ground, like all these huge. This is broken obviously in half. There's a lot of rot in a lot of these trees.
Yeah.
I'm just glad nothing hit the actual RV.
I'm just glad the RV's still here.
Or our cars, and that the RV's still here.
Yeah.
Because it was a crazy night.
It was crazy.
Actually,
all of the furniture was like all strewn across the
all over the
yard. I'm surprised it didn't like go down into the water and stuff.
And some people, I mean, like a lot of parts of Nashville were hit really hard. Like,
yeah.
some
I
people
thought that
lost
was
their
gonna be
homes.
us.
Like we really thought that was gonna be us. As soon as like the wind started blowing and the rain was coming down and like the sirens started going off,
it was scary.
Like it was really scary.
Yeah.
What's up, beautiful people? It is sunset and like golden hour right now, and they say red skies at night, sailor's delight. And I'm not a sailor, but I am definitely delighted that our like
never heard that.
You've heard it? Red skies by morning, sailors take warning. Red skies at night, sailor's delight.
Never heard that.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yes, I do, apparently. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, though, which is really interesting because it was really scary last night. It was like one of the worst storms.
It was, it was
one of the scariest storms I think we've lived through, minus the hurricane in Houston.
Yeah.
But I was having flashbacks to that. And
I grew up in Oklahoma, guys, and it's called Tornado Alley for a reason. Like, we were the crazy people in the movie Twister that went like storm chasing, and like when the tornadoes would touch down, like it was always so cool. But like, you know, we'd sit out on our front porch and watch, you know, because we were crazy. But when you live in Oklahoma, the ground is really flat, so you can see it from miles away in pretty much every direction. Whereas here, it's like really hilly, so it's like you don't really see it coming, and it's a little scarier because you never know, you know. And there's been so much that's happened in the Nashville area over the last few years.
Yeah.
So many people have lost so much from tornadoes. That, you know, and we're living in an RV. We've never lived in an RV.
Yeah, it's very scary when there's storms and you're in an RV.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a lot of children that you're trying to protect.
Yeah.
We went back and forth on whether or not we wanted to share this story with you guys, but we went ahead and shared a little bit about it on Instagram and Facebook and that kind of thing, and have a lot of questions. And so I figured we could just kind of sit down and talk with you guys about what we just went through, because it was a really big deal for us.
It was crazy,
and
dude.
I'm really proud of the kids because they were just incredible. They were such troopers. They were like great listeners. They were like really just, I don't know, just I can't even explain it. Like just even thinking back to last night, I'm just getting overwhelmed because it was really scary. And normally I'm not like really scared by storms and stuff, but I think just the way that everything came together had us kind of panicking, or had me kind of panicking. And so, I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about what that was like. And the kids are still talking about it. They've been talking about it all day long, just like how crazy it was.
All right, guys, so there is a tornado warning or tornado
it's a warning. It's a warning. There's one that's touched down.
Yeah.
But you said the sirens, they're going off.
Yeah, the sirens are going off.
The wind's blowing like crazy. The rain is falling like insanity.
It said around 8:10, and I got the alarm, and I looked at my phone, it said 8:09, and it started getting really loud, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we are down in the basement of our partially renovated house. It is dry.
It's dry in this room. Yeah.
Lincoln's keeping us company. He's singing.
He's singing Jesus Loves Me.
Yes, you are.
Lincoln and the tornado.
Yeah. But it is a little scary, and we are soaking wet. Well, it was actually really terrifying because we ran down here, and as soon as we get in here, somebody said, "Where's Ethan?" And so I turn around and
I didn't see Ethan.
I already had grabbed him.
Yeah.
I grabbed him first because we We were the first ones outside. Yeah.
You guys ran ahead of me, and I didn't see him, and I came in, and then everyone else came in.
Lincoln, and
so I was like, "Where's Ethan?"
Yeah, I panicked, and so I ran back, and I was like, "This is literally like your worst nightmare, like what moms have nightmares of.
Yes.
Is like there's some sort of emergency, and you can't find one of the kids.
Yeah.
You know." Thankfully, he was already down here. We ran back. The boys helped me try to find him. We're soaking wet because it's pouring down. Actually, but I'm just grateful we. I went all the way over to the neighbors, and I thought
you want to stay?
The neighbors, and I was like,
yeah.
I was wearing this sweatshirt, you know, my Spider-Man sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And I got soaked from my shirt under it. It's dry.
That's nice. That's nice.
I'm wearing a windbreaker, but my windbreaker is soaked all
Your
the way
hair is
through.
completely soaked, which, by the way, looks really nice, or at least it did until about 10 minutes ago.
I got a haircut today,
It still
guys.
looks really good, but it's like
right now.
all the boys got haircuts.
Perfect time to talk about some haircuts.
You guys want to do a little like Penny's taking selfies? Tornado selfies for you? Oh my god.
But what I would like to say is that I'm just very grateful that we have a safe spot to come down to, and that we can just hang here for a little while we wait for the storm to completely pass.
Yeah.
And normally it's not a big deal, but being in an RV obviously is kind of scary. And it even said on the thing, it said if you are in a mobile home or an RV or that kind of thing, take shelter immediately.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to get a little worried, and so we ran down here as fast as we could, but we're totally fine. Everything's good.
Like I think he had some water drip on his head.
At the start, I was just going like shivering like this.
Shivering, yeah.
It's kind of cold, and the water just makes it worse.
Yeah, it wasn't really that cold, but being drenched, that makes it a little chilly.
Yeah, the lightning, because we just got home from Taekwondo.
And it immediately
started. It was just, I walked in the house, and you were like, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go.
Reese FaceTimed, and I immediately like got the alarm, and I was like, I'm gonna be back.
The lightning was crazy. Like, it just, it was like filling up the entire sky, and just the thunder's so loud, and there's so many bugs down here. I just had one fly in my mouth.
I know. I saw it like flying.
It was so gross. Oh my gosh.
But anyways, we're just so grateful, aren't we, guys, that we have a safe place to stay while we wait for the storm to pass. Yeah. And praying for everyone else that they can all stay safe as well.
Our power just went out, so I don't know, like what.
Yeah, it's very good to hide under houses.
You can hide under a house.
Basements, that kind of thing. That's a safe place to be.
Oh my gosh. Penny's cracking me up.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. All right, well, this is it. We just wanted to make a little video because this is the first time for us. I know it's kind of weird to like document this kind of thing, but the kids were all like, we should take a video of this because this is crazy, you know?
Yeah. Well, we'll remember back on this as the time that we went to the shell of our house for a tornado and had lots of bugs flying into our mouth.
It's the most, so first time we wasn't here, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
We've almost had to come in here a few times, but it's always passed.
Yeah, this is the first like real actual threat, so.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was the loudest. It's so scary though. Like that was the loudest thunder, and it sounded like it was like right behind us.
It was the loudest thunder.
Oh my gosh.
It was like right
This was all happening at the same time. We were looking at our phones. It started getting really loud and windy, and the rain started like pouring down really, really loud. And so the kids are all huddled in the living room of the RV, and they're like, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? And so we're all scrambling, and I'm like, it's 8:09. It says it's here at 8:10, which is now. So I was like, get on your shoes. We grabbed a few blankets, threw it over the little kids, and we decided we were gonna run down to the basement, which is kind of dry because there is the second level already built.
Well, it was dry. There was like a corner that was dry. Everything was kind of really wet down there already because it just like flash flood. But there was this corner of the room that was dry.
Guys, come look at this. This is insane. Like the whole basement, we have pretty dry ground in here to the back towards the wall. But like the rest is like, it's like we're walking in. Oh, I need to pick that up. That's a lot. Yeah. I brought my guitar and my bag and all of our cameras and stuff over here, but like the water is just pouring in from upstairs, just huge.
Anybody want a bubble bath?
It's like flooding down here. No, oh gosh, it's on me, it's all over. Oh my gosh. It's like falling from the floors. This is like, you actually could take a bath over there, I think. Pretty wild.
Fling open the door, pouring down rain, so thick that you can't even like see in front of you. And we start running for the house, and I'm carrying Lincoln. All the kids have like a blanket over their head, and they are running in. And we get to the basement stairs, and everyone starts going down. And then Steven looks around, and he's like, "Where's Ethan?"
Oh, so scary,
and,
man.
I mean, that moment where, like, as a mom, where you realize like there's an emergency and you can't find one of your kids, is just like the scariest feeling you could ever feel.
Yeah.
And so I handed.
She like gives me Lincoln and runs out into the rain,
I
and
did.
I'm like, "What the heck am I?"
Yeah, I said take him, and I turned around and I bolted back to the RV, almost busted my face open because I was like running and you can't see in front of you, and so I'm like tripping over stuff. And I fling open the door and I'm screaming in the RV, and I'm like, Ethan. And he's not answering, he's not there. And Jude and Liam had followed me back over, and he was like, maybe he ran to the neighbors. They take off running to the neighbors, and I'm like, no, come back. And so then I run back to the basement, and
I had been screaming like, "Hey, he's down here,
Yeah.
But you can't hear anything because the wind is blowing so loudly, and the rain is falling so hard. She couldn't hear me.
Yeah. And apparently Kira had gotten him. Kira tried to carry our kitties out, and as soon as she opened the door and the rain was pouring, they like clawed her and jumped out of her arms and ran off. So we didn't have the cats, which was another distressing thing. But so Ethan was apparently standing right next to her, and he looks at her and he's like, "I'm scared." So she had grabbed him with her and ran.
But it was so dark I couldn't see even what was in front of me, that she was in front of me with him. And so I was freaking out, and Amanda was freaking out. And like,
I mean, we weren't.
Like
internally we were freaking out. We were trying to stay calm for the kids, but it was just, the emotions were so heightened. So then I make it back to the basement. The boys make it back to the basement like a few seconds after me, thankfully.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, nobody go anywhere. We were staying in this basement. And so we just kind of huddled up. We were soaking wet. It thankfully wasn't too cold. I mean, it was cold because we were wet, but it wasn't freezing cold or anything like that. And we just huddled up together and spent some time.
Sang some songs. I brought my guitar over because I was like...
He grabbed his guitar on the way out. Like, he's such a musician.
One of the things that I really need to survive if everything gets taken away. Camera, computer, guitar.
Yeah, he grabbed his backpack with all of his gear and his guitar or whatever. So he actually set up the camera because he was like, you know what? This is something we can look back on and be grateful that we survived. And
I didn't think we would do a vlog on it. I just wanted to have it for us. But we weren't planning on, because like this weekend's crazy. We weren't gonna even put a vlog out on Saturday. We were just gonna
it's Easter weekend.
It's Easter weekend, But we're like, you know what? Like,
I wanted to sit down and talk about this. Yeah. And the kids keep talking about it, and just like, I don't know. I think it's healthy to process. And so we're talking with them a whole bunch about what happened. But it was really interesting because the way that the kids handled it, like Lincoln started singing "Jesus Loves Me."
He did.
And which kind of got everybody to kind of drop their guard down. And so even though it's like really loud, you hear the wind just kind of shaking.
We all broke out.
Lincoln singing "Jesus Loves Me." Steven starts like playing the guitar, and we all start singing together.
We're singing "Graves in the Gardens," which somehow turned into "I Got a Feeling That Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night." And it's the funniest thing. There's like a legit tornado going on outside, and we're all singing "I Got a Feeling."
You winding up for a softball pitch? To shame and to glory, you're the only one who cares. You're the only one.
I think, and Jude and a couple of the other kids, when we're like anxious or whatever, we tend to joke or laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
Jude broke into full-on zombie mode, which was funny because
Jude's like over here. He's like, "You guys see me?" Oh my gosh! Whenever we drove up, Penny, the lightning was like flashing super big right behind the house, and you just saw the house light up. And she goes, "Oh, Resident Evil," which is very comforting knowing that we went into this house. Oh my God!
No! You can't do that! That's the worst idea ever!
Well done, dude.
We're like, don't do that because it's dark and it looks like you're really a zombie right now. Yeah, it is interesting the different ways that people process fear or anxiety or just negative emotions and that kind of thing. And so some of them were being like really lighthearted and goofy. And then some of us were a little bit more quiet. But I'm just so grateful that we're okay and that like the house wasn't leveled and the RV wasn't blown away, because it felt like that was what was going to happen. But we did lose power, and the refrigerator went out, so he like switched the breaker back on after the storm was over.
Everything that was attached to anything 120 volts. Just a totally.
And guys, we have just stocked up on a month's worth of groceries, like so much food.
Well, we had already lost all of our food. If you watched the grocery haul vlog, like our fridge went out while we were out on spring break. We lost all of our food that was in the fridge. It was disgusting.
A lot of freezer stuff, especially like it was many hundreds of dollars of stuff.
So we just replenished it all. And here we don't have power. Like no fridge power, no microwave power, no TV power, no Wi-Fi power, nothing at all. And I can't figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, and that was really scary. At that point, I was like, I just feel like everything's been so much lately. There's been so much like just difficult. It just feels like everything's extra difficult, you know. And like we've had to have extra patience and extra grace for one another, and extra just to kind of get through it. Just having some grit to like be able to just get through difficult things without falling apart. And
I like that grit. You got grit. You got true grit.
You know, when life is like really difficult and you're in one of those seasons where you're like, for whatever reason, the Lord's not moving us out of this difficult season yet. And so, you know, you have to have some grit, and you have to learn how to just kind of settle into your faith and trust the Lord that like, you know, when it's the right time to move on, He'll move us on. But right now, like, things are just difficult, and you can get exasperated and frustrated and like try to push against it, you know, or you can just, I mean, obviously you want to be wise and you want to be a good steward of what you have. You want to be taking care of things, but sometimes things are just out of your control, and you have to let go and just realize you're not in control. And so at that point you can choose, what is my perspective going to be like? Where am I going to place my trust and my hope? And how am I going to handle this? How am I going to model this for my kids? And we are certainly so far from perfect with that, but like I do feel like being in an extended season like this has made us more mindful, even more mindful, you know, and just constantly in prayer about like, just like, Lord, what are you wanting to do in us? How are you wanting to refine us? What is, you know, how are you trying to shape our perspectives? And you know, it's because you can get so caught up in the day to day, and you forget like the bigger picture of like, why are you doing what you're doing? You know, and so I think that's the main reason I wanted to kind of share this, is just to, because I know so many people are going through difficult things, and I know we've talked about this many times before. Like, we're in a difficult season, we're in a waiting season. There's just a lot that is out of our control, but I don't know, I just think sometimes sharing that can be really powerful, because it can encourage others who are also going through really challenging seasons, and also just to remember, like, this is not a forever thing. Like, someday you'll be able to move on, and you'll look back and you'll remember that time that you were in that season and what God did in you and through you. And so I love that I can hear all the kids playing on the trampoline back here, just having a blast with the neighbors. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that we are okay. I'm really grateful that our house that we've been spending so much time building did not blow down. We literally looked at each other and we're like, if this house gets knocked down, I would not even be surprised at this point, because there's just been so many setbacks and challenges, but it hasn't. And the workers were actually here today because it was a beautiful day. So
they got a lot done today.
They did.
We're close to putting the roof on, which is exciting.
I know we keep saying we're going to show you, but I'm waiting for a little bit more to come together. And then we can kind of show you around. But I'm grateful. I think I did all the talking on this vlog. I just kind of got a little caught
okay.
up in it, but I'm so grateful. And so Steven was a rock star this morning. He was troubleshooting. He went and got like some sort of part and was like taking things apart in the RV and hooking things up, and I don't know all the things you were doing, but I was very impressed. I just stood back and watched, and I was like, that's my husband. I'm so proud of you. And he figured it out, and he got it back on, so our groceries did not go to waste.
120. There we go.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Good Lord.
Guys, this has been a crazy, crazy night and morning for us. And I could have cried, like thinking that we were going to lose all the groceries we had just bought again.
It's kind of hard to tell because the RV has a battery, and so a lot of stuff was working, but none of the outlets are working, including the fridge outlet. And so I just started troubleshooting, and I went and got this multimeter from Home Depot. And luckily, you know, Amanda's dad trained me for 3 years running a rodeo arena with skills that I never thought I would need, including how to do this stuff. The GFCI was not tripping. It wasn't tripping, but it wasn't giving power, so I replaced that this morning, and now we have power.
Now we have power.
I'm really grateful.
Thank the Lord.
Really, really stressful because, you know, I'm just glad I didn't have to pay an electrician.
I'm glad I didn't have to pay an electrician. I'm so proud of you, babe. You did this. You fixed this yourself, which is awesome.
Call me Chip. Call me Chip Gaines. I'll
yeah. And you saved all of our groceries. It was like what, like $1,300 worth of groceries.
I was actually like kind of crying.
I was too, because I was like, we just threw away all of our stuff that went bad over.
This is gonna break me.
Yeah, and
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
I'm like, we can't keep like buying a month's worth of grocery every 3 days. Like that's. I'm just so grateful that you fixed it. Thank you, babe. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
I actually could cry now from happy tears because I'm like,
yeah, me too.
God, like it shouldn't be. I mean, it's crazy because like literally every outlet in the house is tied to that bad boy. Like it's all so daisy chained. It feels like so unsafe. I guess that's just how RVs are made. But like, that's the one guy. If it goes out, everything goes out. So
it's so weird that it's in the bathroom too.
Well, it's because it's next to water. It has to be. That's where the most like the circuit could go faulty.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So anyway, yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hi. Are you ready to go get Reese from the airport?
Yeah.
You so excited? Mm-hmm. You're so excited. We were FaceTiming last night with her. She was wanting to make sure that we were all safe and all that too. So, all right. Should we close this out and go get Reese?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say goodbye to our sweet friends online.
Bye.
We love you guys. Thank you for all the well wishes and prayers over on Instagram and Facebook, and we're just so grateful that we have such a great community who loves on us and is covering us in prayer. It really means the world to us, and so happy Easter to you guys. Yeah, guys. If you're seeing this, you'll see this on Saturday, so it'll be right before Easter. Yeah. But we'll have an Easter vlog out for you guys too, a little after Easter. So love you guys so much.
Love you guys.
See you guys later.
Bye.
For your name's sake, you will lead me back home to you. God, for your name's sake, you will lead me back